But sometimes the scariest stories aren't found in horror movies, they come from real life. In a quiet town where everyone knew each other's names, a single mysterious disappearance uncovered a web of secrets darker than anyone could have imagined. This isn't fiction. It is a true story that still haunts investigators to this day, a story that will make you question how well you really know the people around you. It all began on a cold evening in November 2004 in the small town of Clearwater, Oregon, when the calm rhythm of small-town life was shattered. But 24-year-old Emily Turner, a beloved local teacher, never showed up for a family dinner. She was indeed just another resident. She was the kind of teacher who stayed late to help struggling students. The kind of neighbor who brought cookies to new families. Her absence was noticed almost immediately, not just by her family, but by nearly everyone who knew her. When she failed to arrive at her parents' house, something she never ever missed concern quickly turned into fear. The lights in her home were still on, her car was neatly parked outside, and her handbag was sitting on the kitchen counter as if she'd just stepped out for a moment. Yet Emily herself was nowhere to be found. The police were called that same night, and what started as a missing person case soon grew into something far more unsettling. Neighbors recalled hearing nothing unusual, no cries for help, no signs of a break-in. The town that once felt so safe suddenly carried an eerie quiet, as if the air itself had thickened with suspicion. The case drew local media attention, and for a place where little ever happened, this mystery became the talk of every cafe and grocery aisle. In many ways, Emily's story mirrors countless real-life disappearances that begin without warning. There's no explosion of drama, no cinematic moment, just an unsettling silence that replaces someone's laughter, someone's daily routine. And that silence is what haunted Clearwater, a reminder that evil doesn't always arrive with noise. It can slip in quietly, in the spaces between routine and comfort, leaving behind only questions. As detectives began piecing together Emily's final hours, they found themselves facing a puzzle with missing corners. Her car, still parked outside her house, showed no signs of tampering. The doors weren't forced, and her phone lay on the table dead from a drained battery. But when investigators pulled her call records, something chilling stood out. Multiple missed calls from the same unknown number in the hours right before she vanished. The number was traced to a prepaid phone purchased with cash, which was later found discarded in the woods just outside of town. That single clue added a shadowy, sinister dimension to the case. Someone had tried to contact Emily repeatedly, yet there were no messages, no voicemails. It suggested urgency or obsession. The discovery reignited the investigation, sending search teams combing through nearby forests and rivers. But despite their efforts, no trace of Emily surfaced. The town's trust in its familiar calm began to crumble, and the whispers started about a stalker, an old acquaintance, or maybe even someone she knew well. In real-life cases, unexplained phone activity often becomes a silent witness, revealing more about a victim's final moments than any physical evidence can. For the investigators, those unanswered calls became the heartbeat of the mysterious sign that someone out there had been close enough to reach her, yet hidden enough to vanish without a trace. Clearwater's peace had been disturbed, and fear had quietly taken its place. As the investigation stretched into weeks, one name began surfacing repeatedly: Mark Ellis. He was one of Emily's closest friends, a longtime companion who had joined every search party and spoken emotionally in news interviews. On the surface, he appeared heartbroken and helpful, a pillar of support for the grieving community. But detectives noticed cracks in his story timelines that didn't quite align, vague descriptions of where he was the night Emily vanished. His alibi, when they checked it, couldn't be verified. This revelation sent ripples of disbelief through the town. Mark was known as kind and quiet, someone who volunteered at local shelters and coached youth soccer. The possibility that he could be linked to Emily's disappearance felt unthinkable. Yet, history has shown that the people who appear the most trustworthy sometimes hide the darkest secrets. Detectives quietly shifted their focus, interviewing those who knew him best and searching for anything that might tie him to that mysterious phone number. Behind the scenes, investigators faced the delicate balance between suspicion and proof. They had no concrete evidence against Mark, just inconsistencies that refused to fade. Still, the more they learned, the more the image of a perfect, grieving friend began to unravel. It was a chilling reminder of how deception often wears a friendly face, composed and careful. And in Emily's case, that face might have been the last one she ever saw. The turning point came when police, acting on a quiet warrant, searched Mark Ellis's property. At first glance, everything seemed ordinary. Modest home, a tidy yard, a life that looked completely normal. But inside his shed, investigators made a discovery that changed the entire course of the case. Hidden beneath old boxes was a stack of newspaper clippings, each one detailing disappearances from nearby towns over the last 5 years. And beneath them lay a single worn notebook titled "People Who Vanish." Inside the notebook were names, dates, and cryptic phrases. It wasn't clear if it was a diary, research, or something far more sinister. But among those pages, investigators found one chilling detail: Emily Turner's initials, written weeks before she disappeared. The handwriting was neat, deliberate, and dated in a way that couldn't be explained away as a coincidence. It was the moment where speculation turned into pure dread. Such discoveries, though mysterious, are not unheard of in true crime history. Ordinary individuals who keep hidden journals or maintain obsessions with missing persons. Whether it's a strange fascination, a confession born from guilt, or a dark compulsion. The line between curiosity and complicity becomes terrifyingly blurred. For Clearwater, that notebook was the most haunting piece of evidence, yet a silent witness that spoke louder than anyone could bear to hear. But before investigators could confront Mark with their horrifying findings, he vanished. His car was found near the edge of town, keys still in the ignition, but there was no trace of him anywhere. He left behind everything: his phone, his wallet, even his family photos. It was as if he had stepped out of existence, just as Emily had. The discovery stunned the town and deepened the mystery. Was Mark running from guilt, or had he become another victim in the same unseen pattern? The case eventually grew cold. The notebook, sealed in an evidence locker, remains the only tangible link between the two disappearances. Over time, theories began to spiral. Some said Mark had staged his own disappearance to escape justice. Others believed he'd been silenced by someone far more dangerous. Whatever the truth, neither he nor Emily was ever found. Years later, Clearwater still whispers about those events. Some residents claim to see a figure watching from the tree line near the old trail where the prepaid phone was found. Whether it's guilt haunting the town or something more, no one knows. But what lingers most is the unease, the realization that the most chilling stories don't end neatly. They remain unsolved, echoing in the silence left behind by the people who simply vanish. To this day, Mark Ellis remains missing, and Emily Turner's fate is still unknown. That notebook rests in an evidence lock, a silent, cold, and unsolved. Some say Mark planned everything. Others believe he was covering for someone else. But one thing is for sure: sometimes the truth is far more terrifying than fiction. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think happened to Emily and Mark? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you found this story as chilling as I did, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more unsolved mysteries. Stay safe out there.